Today on Real Talks, we're going to talk to Jeff and Maddie about what it was like waiting for and receiving their first placement. So we're just talking about your first placement. So how long, once you guys were licensed, before you got your first placement?
We weren't. I mean, we were by the time they came, but we are getting our license kept getting elongated and taking a while. And before we actually were licensed, we got 3 calls for 3 different sets of siblings. And I kept asking, does this mean that our license is officially through? And they were like, it's any day now, but here's all these kids that we have ready for you. And it was quick.
Wow. Okay, So some people have to wait a long time.
That's not the case for everybody.
Yeah.
You were frustrated because you were still waiting for the finality of it to go.
Done?
You were ready
Yeah.
to do it. Okay.
It was overwhelming though. That was overwhelming to be like, oh my gosh.
We kept getting calls.
Right, there's such a need.
This is
so
a
how?
huge
That's
need.
my next question: is how scared were you when they're like, okay, now you're licensed and they're coming? Talk about what you guys know.
I think there's just always some nervousness of what are the kids going to be like? Are they going to like it? How are our kids going to get along with their kids? Or the new new foster kids? But I think at the same time, you're nervous, you're anxious, but at the same time excited to just...
Sure.
Because...
We were more than nervous. You didn't even want to say yes initially.
Right. I think that's normal, you were all on board, you're excited, but now it's really happening.
We just finished classes. We weren't sure we were ready to take the kids in yet, and then all of a sudden we kept getting calls.
I was at a park. I remember so vividly. I was at a park, and they called and she was like, I'm calling you for 2 separate referrals. And I was like, huh? At a park, my kids are playing, and I call him hey, there's 2 twin babies in the NICU that are coming out in a week, or there's these other 2 siblings that are 1 and 3 that they asked about. And he was like, wait, are we licensed? And it was great. It was intense, and we were kind of not ready to say yes to either of them.
Okay.
Not meaning that we would get them anyways if we said yes, but we were very hesitant.
So then you did say yes to someone.
Yes.
So talk about those first few days or that first week. What was that like when you did say yes and they're really coming and they came?
The hard part is I think our life was still going. I remember our first day we had kids. We had a soccer game for our middle daughter. And so it's all of a sudden you have 2 more kids and... you're just you have to do all the things you're supposed to do, but acclimate them to your life. Yeah. And not to mention for us, we had 5 kids all under the age of 5. So just the logistics of car seat. I remember I ran out and we had to buy car seats and we're trying to, which ones fit, can we get 5 car seats in our van? We had to buy
brand new car seats, 3 new car seats. They were the thinner ones that could fit 3 across the back of our van.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm putting together cribs, and we're trying to figure out who's going to sleep where. And the sleeping arrangement changed from what we thought it was going to. It's just so. It's a balancing act. I think
the other thing that I wasn't ready for that maybe wasn't. I'm sure it was addressed, but you can't think about it until it's happening. Was all the visits initially. The caseworkers coming in, the county caseworker, our focus support, and then the doctors, you have to take them in for their 1-day check when you get them in your care, and then you have to do it again a week later, and then you're adding in the visits with the parents, and they're like, and that's this Tuesday, and I'm like, well, I'm not free that Tuesday
because I had 3 other kids.
We have stuff going on already,
but you have to figure it out, and I was just like, how do I do it all? And how do I all of a sudden take these kids to the hospital for their well check, child well? It was just a lot, and had to get help immediately. And you just, I would say, find help.
So would you say the first 30 days?
The first 30 days.
First week, so going on the next week, What does people need to know about those first 30 days?
I would say, get your support system. We had a meal train set up for us by our church, so we had meals brought to us from, almost as if we had a new baby. There's, a new baby meal train, kind of, and they added us to that, thankfully. So we had meals brought, 3 days a week.
Nice.
We had his mom, thankfully, who was just kind of on call at all times during that first month. I don't know. I mean, just
I think
those two,
setting up your support.
the support,
Yeah.
getting that. Yeah.
And I think you have to be flexible too. I mean, that's everything is
Yeah.
going to change. And, you know, like I said, we spent all this time figuring out where the kids were going to sleep. And it took like 2 days to figure out this isn't going to work. So we switched things around. And,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and so it's just, I think you can make plans, but your plans have to be flexible and you have to be willing to change.